Yes, sir. Yes, sir. All set.
डॉक्टर हिमानी स्टार्ट करिए मैम।
Okay, sir. Sure. A very warm afternoon to everyone. Welcome to the webinar series on homeopathic pharmacy organized by Sympathy Institute of Homeopathic Pharmacy and Hospital in collaboration with Delhi Homeopathic Medical Association. I, Dr. Himani Sharma, wholeheartedly welcome each one of you for the today's webinar. I feel privileged enough to be the moderator for the today's session. We will try our best to provide you with the knowledge treasures by the best speakers across the country. Before beginning the session, let me acquaint you with the Sympathy. Sympathy Institute of Homeopathy Pharmacy and Hospital existed and incorporated with registration of Delhi government in 2009 at New Delhi. The institute established, directed and led by Dr. Arkan and his team with commitment to promote homeopathy pharmacy system of medicine worldwide. The institute established in 2009 and conducting foundation course in homeopathy, certificate in homeopathic dispensing, diploma in homeopathic pharmacy, and bachelor in homeopathic pharmacy with affiliation of government authorities and UGC recognized university. Sympathy Institute of Homeopathic Pharmacy and Hospital started homeopathic pharmacy courses with the purpose to educate the people in a quality manner and produce a qualified homeopathic pharmacist. The homeopathic dispensaries, hospitals, industries were facing the problems for many years. Sympathy Institute took initiatives and started that kind of courses to reduce the quality issues in the homeopathic industry. We are also participating and conducting free dispensaries, medical camps, health checkups in schools, and also regularly organizing a mega event for homeopathy, that is Run for Homeopathy, for our Indian society. This is all about Sympathy Institute. Now, we have with us a renowned physician and a great person, Dr. Deepak Sharma, Association, DHMA, and founder director of Orbit Clinic. I request sir to say a few words about DHMA. Welcome, sir.
थैंक यू डॉक्टर हिमानी। आप सभी लोगों का बहुत बहुत स्वागत है आज के हमारे स्पीकर डॉक्टर प्रकाश जोशी सर का, और जितने भी इस इवेंट को आप देख रहे हैं, जितने भी वेबिनार में प्रेजेंट हैं, जो हमें फेसबुक पे लाइव सुन रहे हैं, आप सभी लोगों का स्वागत है। मैं दिल्ली होम्योपैथिक मेडिकल एसोसिएशन का जनरल सेक्रेटरी डॉक्टर दीपक शर्मा आप सभी लोगों का तहे दिल से स्वागत करता हूं, और आशा करता हूं कि आप हमारी इस वेबिनार सीरीज का जो लाभ है वो उठा पाएंगे। आपको बता दूं कि दिल्ली होम्योपैथिक मेडिकल एसोसिएशन 1932 में डॉक्टर युद्धवीर सिंह सर द्वारा बनाई गई थी। डॉक्टर युद्धवीर सिंह सर दिल्ली के पहले हेल्थ मिनिस्टर रहे हैं, वो बोर्ड के पहले चेयरमैन भी रहे हैं। उन्होंने नेहरू होम्योपैथिक मेडिकल कॉलेज, दिल्ली पब्लिक लाइब्रेरी और बहुत सारी ऐसी चीज़ों का फाउंडेशन भी किया है। बहुत सारी होम्योपैथिक चैरिटेबल डिस्पेंसरी का भी फाउंडेशन उन्होंने बात किया जाता है, दिल्ली में तो खासकर कोई उनसे ऐसा जो अनजान हो। दिल्ली होम्योपैथिक मेडिकल एसोसिएशन 1932 से लगातार होम्योपैथी के लिए प्रयासरत है और होम्योपैथी को आगे बढ़ाने के लिए काम करती आई है। लगातार सीएमईज, लगातार जो भी सेमिनार्स हैं, हेल्थ कैंप्स हैं, या ऐसे बहुत सारी एक्टिविटी हैं जो होम्योपैथी के लिए दिल्ली होम्योपैथिक मेडिकल एसोसिएशन करती आई है। और मैं आज दिल्ली होम्योपैथिक मेडिकल एसोसिएशन का जनरल सेक्रेटरी होने पर अपने आप को गौरवान्वित महसूस करता हूँ और यहाँ पे स्वागत करता हूँ डॉक्टर कांत का, जिन्होंने दिल्ली होम्योपैथिक मेडिकल एसोसिएशन के साथ एक होम्योपैथिक वेबिनार सीरीज का आयोजन करने का प्लान किया था और ये सक्सेसफुल भी हो रही है। यहाँ पे हम लोग होम्योपैथी फार्मेसी के ऊपर बात कर रहे हैं। आप सब लोगों को बता दूं कि अभी कुछ ही दिनों पहले हमारी नेशनल काउंसिल ऑफ होम्योपैथी का भी गठन हुआ है और हम सभी लोग आशा करते हैं कि उसमें होम्योपैथिक फार्मेसी को और ज़्यादा किया जाएगा। तो मैं इसी के साथ आशा करता हूं कि आप सभी लोग हमारे इस लेक्चर को अच्छे से सुनेंगे। एक बात और कि हम किसी भी तरीके का यहाँ पर कोई प्रिस्क्रिप्शन नहीं करते हैं, तो अगर आपको किसी भी टाइप का प्रिस्क्रिप्शन चाहिए तो आप अपने नज़दीकी होम्योपैथिक डॉक्टर से जा करके मिलिए। थैंक यू एवरीवन। ओवर टू यू डॉक्टर हिमानी।
Thank you so much, sir, for a wonderful introduction about DHMA. Now, I would like to introduce you all to our dignified speaker for the today's session, Dr. Prakash Joshi. Dr. Prakash Joshi is a retired senior principal scientific officer in HPL Ayush, having experience of more than 35 years in quality control of homeopathic medicines and presently working as a technical advisor in Medicine Private Limited. He has delivered more than 100 lectures on GMP, quality issues, standardization, etc. of homeopathic medicines. During HPL tenure, he organized more than 40 training programs for drug enforcement officers of different states. He has contributed in more than 40 research papers, articles in different journals, and also edited 4 books on medicinal plants used in homeopathy. So today, he will be discussing on a very interesting and innovative topic, microbial aspects of good manufacturing practices. I hope you all are looking forward for the today's session. I request you all to listen patiently. You can post your queries in the chat box, which will be discussed at the end of the session. Now, without taking much time, I invite our speaker for today, Dr. Prakash Joshi. Welcome, sir.
डॉक्टर प्रकाश जोशी सर, आप सुन पा रहे हैं?
Are you audible?
Hello.
Yes, sir, you are audible, sir.
Okay, please. So now, what I want to say here is that the purpose of GMP is that we should have a medicine which is of a quality. Quality means the standards which are given in the second schedule of the Drugs and Cosmetics Act. But if the consistency is not there, then it doesn't serve the purpose. And the GMP and the quality assurance is the same thing, you know. There are two faces of the same coin. Either you say GMP or you say the quality assurance. Now, this particular today we are discussing on the microbial aspect of the GMP. And in this, how the microbial contamination affects the GMP and the quality of drug, that we are going to discuss in the next few slides. Next, please. Yeah. The manufacture of pharmaceutical substances is one of the most highly regulated and rigorously controlled manufacturing process. It is very regulated. As you all know, there is a
Sir, sorry to interrupt, sir. You are not audible.
Just a minute. Hello, now?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Now we can hear you.
Okay. So the manufacture of pharmaceutical substances is one of the most highly regulated and rigorously controlled. And that is why there is a provision in the Schedule M1 that how to manufacture the drug, what should be the facility, what should be the area, and how to manufacture and how to, have the SOPs, the standard operating procedures, and all these things. So in order to gain the manufacturing license, you have to comply with all the regulations, and all these regulations are mentioned in the Schedule M1. What are the requirements for mother tincture? What are the requirements for the dilutions? What are the requirements for the the syrups, ointments, tablets, like that? So if you follow all these things, then we can have a safe and effective drugs. Next. Now, before we understand the concept, we should know that whenever we design a layout plan for the manufacturing facility, the design and layout of the manufacturing facility is very, very important. First thing, we cannot manufacture in any open room. So it has to be designed in the proper way so that the proper ventilation is there, proper aeration is there, and the air, whatever is there, it has to be controlled. Then the raw material which we are using, that has to be properly checked, and it should not be contaminated. And the training of the commitment of the personals which are involved, they are also it is very important for us to train. If the persons are not trained, then there can be chances of microbial contamination. And the existence regulatory framework, whatever the framework is there, we have to follow. So that all thing we are going to discuss in our next few slides. Now, before we understand the microbiology and the microbial aspect, one must understand that 1 micron is equal to 1 million of a meter. It is such a small thing. And one dust particle seen in a ray is approximately 60 micron. When we see sun rays, we find certain particles in the sun rays, and see all these are of 60 micron. And the human eye can't see a subject less than 50 micron. And a human hair, जो बाल है हमारा है, it is of 75 micron in diameter. So, and you can understand that the bacteria, they are very small. It is about 3 micron, 5 micron, something like that. And particle 200 times smaller than the human hair can cause major disaster in the clean room. So that is why few slides. Now, in microbiological terms, when we say that the products, the pharmaceutical products, they are of two categories, the sterile and the non-sterile. The sterile is the one which is prepared under aseptic condition. That is the eye drop. Eye drop, it has to be sterile, because if the eye drop is not sterile, then that may cause a lot of problem. Now, the first time in 1969, what happened that in Sweden, the people lost their eyesight because the eye drops are contaminated with Pseudomonas aeruginosa. So that is very important. If the eye drops are contaminated with Pseudomonas aeruginosa or any Pseudomonas species, it damages the retina. So that is why we cannot compromise with the sterility when we have to prepare the eye drops. Now the second is the non-sterile. Non-sterile doesn't mean that we should have any type of environment. But for that, they say at least we should, which is a 5 micron filter. And the products which are prepared under non-sterile conditions are mother tinctures, liquid orals, tablets, ointments, and etc. Next. Now, simply we can say that clean room is a room which is clean. But microbiologically, one has to understand what is a clean room. So clean rooms are used in pharma industry where small particles can adversely affect manufacturing process. Clean rooms are well defined. It is not that any room where we are sitting, the room where I am sitting, the room where you are sitting will have at least, you can say, 1 million bacteria per square feet. So it is very difficult, to control the bacterial contamination until unless the air and the room is properly environmentally controlled. Next, please. Now, here there are certain classifications which are mentioned as we had, or you must, come across that class 100. It was an old classification which was mentioned that class 100 is the purpose is this, that the 0.5 micron size particle should not have more than 100 in per square feet. But now that all classification has been, deleted, and the new classification has come, and that classification is come under ISO classification, and ISO 5 is equivalent to class 100. And if you see the class 5 which you will see here, the class 5 is 3520. So 3520 particles are 0.5 micron per cubic meter. And here, as I told you, that is 100 per cubic feet. So in 1 cubic meter, we have got 35.3147 cubic feet. 1 cubic meter is equal to. So if you divide 3520 by 35.31, it comes to 100. So in short, I can say that ISO 5 and class 100 is the same classification. And this is the classification which is required for sterile. So this again, I know we'll discuss further in next few slides. Now, microorganisms, one has to understand that they seldom float free. They ride on a carrier particles. They don't, they don't have the wings. They don't have, जिसको कहते हैं ना, उनके पास पंख नहीं होते. They don't have wings. They don't fly. They fly with certain, the particles. They are called the carriers. And carrier particles normally they are 10 times larger than the microorganism. And almost all microorganisms in clean room originate from people's skin. The skin, is the biggest source of contamination. Though the human skin leaves around thousands of bacteria per second, and the breathe and aerosol. So whenever we breathe, that is why it is very important. That is why today's, in scenario, we have seen that why we wear mask. The reason of mask wearing is because the aerosols and the viral contamination takes place because of the oral breathing. So that is why the mask is the biggest safety, item for us. That is why the government of India for COVID, they have specially said that mask and the distance, because the aerosol, may fall up to 1 feet or 2 feet. That is why they say 6 feet distance. So this is the main thing. No universal relationship has been established between airborne particles, airborne bacteria, and latent particles. So this is very important that, it is very important for us to know that how the bacteria, they move around and how they contaminate. So in the next slide, we'll see contamination. What is contamination? It is very important for us to first to understand what is contamination. So contamination is a process or act that causes material surfaces to be soiled with microbes. Now in normal language, I will say contamination means, for example, we people, for example, Dr. Kant, myself, and some other persons are talking on Materia Medica, and someone comes with pharmacy. So we'll say that this man is contaminating the environment. So which is not required, that comes into the process, that is called the contamination. For example, we are taking, some sweet drink, and in that someone puts salt. So the salt is a contamination because it is differing the taste of the sweet. So that is why contamination is something which is not required. The same way bacteria are not required in a particular processes. That is why the contamination can be bacteria, contamination can be dust, contamination can be anything which is not required to be there. So here our main focus today to discuss is about the microbial contamination. Next. Now, can you show this? Yeah. What are contaminants again? The product substances, then the other which are manufactured but which are not there. Then foreign products, particulate matter, microorganisms, and the endotoxin. Endotoxin is something which bacteria, when they grow, they produces the exotoxin and the endotoxin. And when the bacteria degrades, then the toxin which is inside the bacteria that come out. Now contamination of a starting material, intermediate product, finished product with another starting material or product during production, that is also a sort of contamination. So these are very important aspect. I will share the slides with Dr. Kant also. Those who want to study or those who want to ask me the question later on, they can ask me. But contamination is something which is contaminating the starting material. For example, we are preparing a rust ox mother tincture, and in that Nux vomica mother tincture comes, or Nux vomica seed come in the raw material. So that is also a sort of contamination. because we want to prepare a particular mother nature A. For example, the Nux vomica we are preparing. If other bacteria, other mother nature, the raw material is contaminating that is also there. For example, we are producing Hydroxys canadensis, and in that Berberis raw material come, Berberis root come. So Berberis is a contamination in Hydroxys canadensis. Next. Now, microbiological view, the manufacturing area, equipments, utensils should be cleaned, maintained, and sanitized. Now, for example, when we cook food at home, what do we do? Or for example, when we have to boil the milk, usually people say, "Aaj doodh phat gaya." Kyun phat gaya? Because the utensil was not being cleaned. Some soap material or something which was there, or some the lemon or some curd, some particle were there, and that is why it spoils the milk. So that is also sort of contamination. So it is very important for us to understand that if the things are not being cleaned properly, if it is not maintained, if it is not sanitized, then chances of contamination will be there, and that will alter the safety, identity, quality, and purity. Next, please. Now, each manufacturer has to establish. Now, it is the responsibility of the manufacturer that they should prevent contamination. And how to prevent contamination, that is an art that we'll see in our next few slides. Next, please. Now, what happens if there is a contamination? Now, if there is a contamination, it may result in spoilage of the product. It may constitute an infection hazard to the consumer. The degree of that shall vary from one situation to another. It may be that, if it is product is contaminated, you may have a diarrhea, you may have an infection, or you may have something else. And presence of toxic material may also cause death. So that is why it is very important that the process and the manufacturing area should be free from the bacteria. Next slide, please. Now, why we say the nature of contaminant is that size. As I told you, the size of the bacteria is, you can't see, less than the hair size. So the dust particle also you cannot see with the naked eye. So bacteria are very, very small, 5 micron, 6 micron, 3 micron. So that is why when we have a filter, that is called HEPA filter, high efficiency particulate air filter, that is a 0.3 micron. So bacteria which is of 2 micron, 3 micron, 5 micron, they are hard to see and identify. You cannot see with the naked eye. Then variety. The bacteria, they are very, very, adaptable. They can eat anything. It is not like, the North Indian, they want chole bhature, they want non-veg, they want chicken. South Indian, they like dosa, they eat. Any food in the form of carbohydrate will going to serve their purpose. Activity can grow very rapidly. One bacteria can multiply to the tune of 1 million bacteria in 6 hours. You can see, imagine, one bacteria can multiply to the tune of 1 million, that is 10 to the power 6 in 6 hours. So that is why it is very important. If you do not check the growth of the bacteria, then the contamination will create a lot of problem. Then ubiquity, can live almost in any environment. So whether it is a low temperature, high temperature, they can survive. Undemanding, they are not demanding. It is not that they want particular thing, that they want particular dish. As I told you, the South Indian dish, North Indian dish, or Odisha dish. Any carbohydrate is going to serve the purpose, and they will multiply. And the mobility is this thing. Now, this is very important. Now, the spreading routes. What are the spreading routes? How the bacteria spread? The first is personal. As I told you, the personal is very important. The human being. Personal means human being. Those who are working in the manufacturing area. The second is environmental room, that is air. The second contamination is the air. And the third contamination is the water. Water is also biggest source of contamination. And the fourth is work processes, that is machines, apparatuses, and intermediate. If the machine is not being cleaned, that is also a source of contamination. Then the primary packaging material. You may prepare a good product, but the packaging material, for example, the bottle, is not being cleaned. Then what will happen? That the bacteria which are present in the bottle, that will spoil the product. And then the raw material. As you have seen, that if you don't wash the utensil at home, then what happens? That the milk and other things, get spoiled. So that is why the the packaging material, here is the bottle, and the bottle, that is why in manufacturing area, you have to wash the bottle, you have to heat the bottle and clean the bottle, then only you can, use it. Next, please. Now, as I told you, the biggest contamination is air, water and personal. Now we will discuss one by one. The first is anyway, this is level of production. The air handling. Air handling is very important. As you see that, in our room, we have a fan. But this fan creates a lot of dust particles, start moving around here and there. So the air cleanliness cannot be, with the air conditioner or with the fan. For this, we have to have a AHU, air handling units. In this air handling units, what happens that the whatever air is there in the air handling unit sucks the air from that, passes that air through a filter, and that filtered air, the 5 micron and 0.3 micron, that filtered air comes inside the room. And that is why they say, because the outside air is having a lot of dust. If you just believe me, the room where we are sitting will have at least 10 lakhs particles per square feet. So in this area, we cannot manufacture any medicine. And that is why Schedule M1 came into the picture, and they said that it should be clean room and it should be clean environment. Then the personal and material transfer, how to transfer the material and the personal, that is also important, and permitted operations and building design. The design should be such that there should be uniflow. It means the flow should be from raw material to finished product. The person should not come and go. It be uniflow, means the crisscross. They should not come and, more they travel, more chances of contamination is there. Next. Now, what is the objective to understand is the need and reason for pharmaceutical air handling system. Why do we need an air handling system? Because you must have seen, in many malls, if you go to any mall, in north, you have got many malls in the north, Delhi around. So Ambience Mall is the biggest, and then you have the Noida, you have got 2-3 big malls. They all have a air handling unit. Earlier, there was only air conditioner. Even in the theater, if you see, I will just tell you one thing, that in the big theaters, where we used to go to see the movies in 60s, 70s, 80s, there used to be only air conditioner. So what air conditioner used to do, and even in our house, we have an air conditioner. It takes the air from inside, cools it, again throw it. So what happens? After some time, in the room, the oxygen level goes down, and carbon dioxide level goes up. So because of this, suffocation. See, earlier we used to sleep on the fresh air, so the oxygen level was very high. But when you sleep or you sit in an air-conditioned room, after some time, and if the persons are more in the room, the oxygen level goes down and carbon dioxide level goes up. The same way, in air handling unit, it takes the air from inside, takes the air from outside, filter it, and whatever air is there, that is filtered air, and that air doesn't have a bacteria, doesn't have a dust particle, and has enough oxygen and the humidity, because humidity is also very important, and the relative humidity should be 50-60, and temperature should be 27-28, something like that. Now, air handling unit and this thing, the lighting is very important, temperature is very important, humidity I told you. If the humidity is very high and temperature is very high, the bacteria multiplies very fast. And the air movement should not be like a fan. It should be cascading. Cascading means, it should come slowly. Because what happens, if the airflow is very high, the dust particles which are settled somewhere, that will start floating. So that is why, if you see any good manufacturing unit, the airflow is so smooth that it does not allow the bacteria to jump. Because what happens, even the hand or the surfaces harbors many bacteria. If there is too much pressure, the bacteria will start jumping. As the ball jumps, the same way the bacteria start jumping, and that causes the biggest problem. And then microbial contamination, particle contamination takes place. And uncontrolled environment can lead to a product degradation. That is why this should be controlled, and how to control it, that is through the AHU, air handling unit. Next page. Now parameters influencing the level of production, the number of particles in the air, number of microorganisms in the air velocity, airflow. So how to protect, that is very important. So these are the parameters, and if the number of persons are more, then you have to take more care. So that is we call the air changes. Next please. Now this is the number of times air is recirculated. This is called air changes. Now if the person, suppose in a room there are 2 persons, and if the same room there are 10 persons, so where the persons are more, the air changes will be more, because more persons will cause more contamination, and the efficiency of filter is to be very important. You have to check the efficiency, because sometimes these filters get choked, and if the filters are choked, then you cannot, the air will not filter it properly, and that will cause the biggest problem. And the number of filters in a series, air and the particle generation. If the particle, for example, your tablets, Dr. Kant knows that in tablet, lot of dust particles is generated. So in tablets, it is very important that the air handling unit, the number of air changes are more. In mother tincture, the dust particles are less. In dilutions, dust particles are less. But in tablets, dust particles are more. Because when you do the punching, the lot of dust is generated, the lactose, so that has to be removed properly. Next, please. Now, this is as I told you, cascading. Cascading means very slowly. The air is coming very slowly, and it does not, interrupt this thing. And that is what call it is aseptic environment. And the difference in pressure, it is always important that there should be difference in pressure from outside and inside. Why so? Because we have a room where we have the doors. When you open the door, if the pressure inside is less, the outside air will come, and if the pressure inside is more, the air inside will go from outside. So the inside air in the room, the air is more sterile than the outside side. That is why where the condition, or where from microbial point of view, the air is sterile, that should be in a positive pressure. Positive pressure means it should not allow the outside air to come in. If there is a positive pressure, you must have seen sometimes door automatically gets, जब हवा आती है तो बाहर का दरवाजा एकदम बंद जाता है. It means the pressure outside is more. So if the pressure outside is more and dust particles are more, and in the manufacturing area, if all that particles come in, that will cause a problem. So that is why where we manufacture the drug, where we do the processing, that area should have a more pressure, that is positive pressure, than the other one. Next, please. Now, water is very important. Now, this is important. This is a design. Now, this you can see here that water is the biggest source of contamination. I tell you one thing, that we have a habit of taking the Bisleri water. I will give a very simple example. Now, Bisleri water is good, but it should be consumed in one go. What we do, we buy a Bisleri bottle, we keep it with us. I am drinking, then I am giving it to my kids. They are having one sip, then it is kept for some time. Then after 3-4 hours, same water we are drinking. That water, I tell you, is the source of contamination. What happens when we put that bottle in our mouth? When we put that bottle in our mouth, the air from the mouth goes inside the water, and it contaminates. And secondly, when we take out the water, take out means when we drink the water, same amount of air goes inside the bottle. Now that what bacteria in again 2-3 hours multiplies very fast, because bacteria multiply very fast in water. So that is why you must have seen, that is why you must have seen that in small bottles, you can see the small bottles, they are very, very good. You drink and throw it. But we have a habit of taking the bigger bottle and the whole family drinks whenever we go out. But that is again, the biggest source of contamination. Because simply think, the more you keep it in the mouth, the more bacteria from your mouth will enter into the bottle, and that water is going to be contaminated in 2-3 hours. So same way here in our manufacturing process, the water, there are 2-3 types. The first is tap water, what we call, the borewell water. then we call the RO water, reverse osmosis, and we call the DM, demineralized. DM water is the demineralized water from which the minerals have been removed. Now again in allopathy, if you see that the DM water and the sterile water is completely sterile. It is free from the pathogen also. But for eye drops we need a sterile water, but for liquid orals we need we call the purified water. The purified water is the one which has got a less bacteria, which is free from, it is not a sterile, but it is free from E. coli, Salmonella, Pseudomonas bacteria. So these are very important. Now the third is, next yeah. So again, the water, if you have a distilled water, then the gap, the jets, the water, the dead-like jet, the space is there. So this space, creates stagnation of water, and this stagnation creates water, and that causes contamination. So continuously this space, the leg space, dead leg space should be minimum, so that the water flow should be continuously good, and it does not so. So this is the WHO has designed this thing. The pipeline has to be designed in such a way. The next please. Yeah, as I told you, the air and the personal. Now, if you see this slide, this is very important slide. If you find a room, no one is there, you have a 4 microbes there. Now, if you see 8 persons in uniform, yeah, if you see the 8 persons in uniform and mask, 26 bacteria comes. And if 8 persons uniform mask moving, so they start moving here and there. So that is why they say the movement of the person is also important. In clean room, the persons are not supposed to move around here and there. Change the cloth. As you know, in GMP, the clothes has to be changed. They have to wear the apron. But if they don't wear, or if they forget, or if they do the negligency, then what happens? It comes to 680. And none room are vacant again 30. So how the persons affect the bacteria per cubic feet or number of microbes per setting plate, that you can see. So it is very important that first is one should have the mask, they should sit, they should go calmly, quietly, and the moment, even the moment, it is not that we have a habit of shaking hand. It is very important that in the clean room, it is there is a clear-cut instruction that no shaking is allowed, no movement of head is allowed, no movement of hand is allowed. ये नहीं कि अपने बाल जो है अपने बाल सवार रहे हैं, अपने कपड़े कॉलर ठीक कर रहे हैं, यार more movement is there, the more bacteria which are settled in your clothes, they start floating, and that causes a sort of contamination. Next please. Now again you can see the no movement, 100,000, 1 lakh. Light head or movement, if you movement, your hand is 2,50,000. Average body movement, you can see 10 lakhs. Changing position, it is said that you don't have to change the position. Go sit quietly and do your work and come out. And slow walking, you can see how much fight. Average walking, you can see how much increases. Fast walking. So that is why the light exercise, people have a habit of shaking their hand, keeping their hand up, down like this. So all these movements has to be controlled. Otherwise, there can be chances of microbial contamination. And that is why the microbiology and in GMP, we give a special training that how to behave in a you can etiquettes means किस तरह से आपको व्यवहार करना है, how to behave in a clean room environment. Next please. Now the selection process, yes, this is okay. This is the cleaning. Now how to do the cleaning? Now you cannot clean this with anything. The cleaning has to be the material should be such that it should be product compatibility, that it should not react with product, it should not react with the process, and it should not react with the clean room, and it should be environment compatibility. Environment compatibility is very important. That will cover 1, 2, 3, the product compatibility, process compatibility, and clean room. Now I will give example. Earlier the formaldehyde the formaldehyde was used for cleaning the or sanitization of the room. But now formaldehyde is completely banned. Now no more formaldehyde is used. Now we have a special, silvicide, that is a silver nitrate oxide and hydrogen peroxide. Silver nitrate, hydrogen peroxide, it is called a silvicide. It is eco-friendly and that is approved by WHO. This sanitizer, this thing is used especially for, for sanitization or cleaning the sterile area. Next, please. Now, the following criteria must be used to identify the material. Is the product natural origin, synthetic, or may cause, increase or reduce the microorganism in the process, or microorganisms likely to multiply. Now, where bacteria multiply? When the product is of natural origin. Natural origin means the plant material. You know very well that the maximum homeopathic drugs are prepared from the plant. Now, if the plant material gets contaminated, it has got a cellulose, it has got a starch, so it is bound to attract the bacteria. It is bound to attract the fungus. You must have seen in rainy season, in 2 days, when you buy a bread, we find, the mold, the green color, black color in that. So that is all, is contamination. But in winter, you can keep the bread for about, a week. Nothing happens. Because in winter, in rainy season, you have a high humidity and high temperature. And all these things supports the growth of the bacteria. The same way, the plant material, that is the raw material which are used for preparing the mother tincture, they also have got a lot of, starch, lot of carbohydrates. And when the humidity is there, a lot of contamination will take place. And though a person has purchased a very good raw material, a very costly raw material, meaning you can say the high quality raw material, imported raw material, but if it is contaminated with the fungus, that will create a problem and that will alter the quality of the drug. Next, please. Now, as I told you, there are different bacteria which are found in water, air, and personal. Now, as I told you, why we need to have, the water, air, and personal to be controlled. If you do not control water, air, and personal, then these bacteria may come and that may create a lot of problem. So it is very important for us to understand that we must control the quality of water. As I told you, the water which we are getting from the tube well or from the municipal corporation is not a good quality. That has to be changed into purified water. And that purified water, we have got a different monograph in the Homeopathic Pharmacopoeia of India, where we can show what are the qualities of the water, what should be the pH, what should be the other criteria, and on that basis of that, we can use that quality of water. Air, the normal air which is there, we cannot use it. The air has to be filtered. If it is a sterile preparation, it has to pass through the HEPA filter, that is high efficiency particulate air filter, that is a 0.3 micron. If you are preparing mother tincture or ointments or tablets, then 5 micron, the air to be filtered. And that is why we have got air handling units. That air handling units maintains the temperature and the humidity also. And the personal, why we need to change the clothes, that is very important. And the personal, how he or she has to behave. You must have seen, in filling area, mostly you find the girls, ladies. Why so? The reason is very simple. The girls have got very smooth hands, and each hair on our hand harbors thousands of bacteria. And that bacteria, when you put that hand into the ladies have got that advantage, and that is why you must have seen any film or any manufacturing unit you have seen, mostly in the filling area, because filling area is very, very crucial area. So in filling area, we always find the ladies, because they have very smooth hands, less hairs, and they cause less contamination. And that is why the important thing is that personal and their movement and their activities are very important. And if we do not control their their activities, then the chances of contamination will go high. Next, please. Now, what happens if the solutions are there? For example, any syrup is there. How can we find out that the contamination has taken place? That can be turbidity. You can have a visible growth. it can be color change. And in syrup, we can find the fermentation. When we open the bottle, it opens like a champagne. एकदम जब बॉटल खोलते हैं तो उसमें से गैस निकलती है जैसे कि शैंपेन की बॉटल खोल रहे हैं. So this is all the carbon dioxide, the formation is too much take place. Then emulsion. When we see the cream, you must have seen mostly cream. What is cream? Cream is emulsion. It is an emulsion of oil and water. When the two phases become the same, that is called the emulsifying agents are there. Then that is called a cream. But sometimes when you find when we take out cream from the tube, the water comes up separately and the oil phase comes separately. So when there is a breakage of the emulsion, that is because of contamination. And the cream, you can see the visible growth, and you can also see the discoloration. Tablets. Long back, we found that the tablets were contaminated, and lot of tablets, discoloration was there. Now, as I told you earlier, if the contamination, if there is a contamination, what happens? The which are segregated, that we say, "Arey ultra, हमें क्या फर्क पड़ता है? We are using alcohol for preparing mother nature." But mother nature, alcohol will kill all the bacteria, all the fungus. But the toxins which are there, that will come in the mother nature. And that is why, for example, if the aflatoxin is there, then the aspergillus is mutagenic, tetragenic. If it is streptomycin, it is carcinogenic. So toxins, they are very, 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 very poisonous, and they you may kill the bacteria with the presence of the alcohol, because mostly our mother natures, they are having more than say 70 to 90% alcohol. So we can say that the alcohol takes care of the bacteria. You have killed the bacteria, but what about the toxin secreted earlier? So that toxin will come into the mother nature from the raw material. And they say the raw material has to be kept in a proper storage condition, has been mentioned. We cannot keep it in the any storage condition. It should be dried, and it should have less bacteria. Next, please. Now, these are again, different toxins, and these all toxins, they create, the different neurotoxic effect, cell necrosis, hemorrhage, and all these things. So this is very important that one should understand that not only the bacteria will cause diarrhea, but toxins will cause many diseases like cell necrosis, neurotoxic, and other things, tetragenic, carcinogenic. So it is very important that we should also control the presence of toxins in our product. Next, please. This is all. If you have any questions, queries, I'll be too glad to reply and satisfy the audience. It is definitely my pleasure, Dr. Kant, for giving me the opportunity. I am thankful to all the organizers and to interact with you people. Thank you. God bless you, everyone.
Thank you so much, sir, for an outstanding session. Sir, you have not only delivered an informative lecture, but also explained each step via interacting with the audience. And that was more than enough. I hope everyone has enjoyed this session, and that was fabulous, sir. Thank you once again. Now we are open to question and answers. Kindly ask your queries. You can post them in the chat box, and you can ask, sir. Sir, there is a question.
Yeah.
How can we determine that using medicinal herbs or animals product, they are free from any type of microorganism or others affectable particles except cleaning or steriling methods?
Yes. You see, if the raw material which we are getting, the herb, the gamma rays are now, they are used, and one of my students has done PhD, Dr. Prakash Gupta. He has studied that if the raw material is, is passed through a gamma rays, then if there is any microbes present, that are killed. And secondly, if the raw material, the GMP doesn't start from the GMP. The GMP starts with good agricultural practices, good harvesting practices, good storage practices, good sterilization practices, and good GMP. So when you buy a herb, if it is properly washed at that time and then dried properly, then the chances of contamination will be very less. I will give you a very good example. You must have, seen, or you must have read in the Times of India, long back, one lady purchased palak kharida usne, and she kept in a the fridge, and in that palak gaddi mein one small snake was there, and that snake through some passage it went inside the milk, and the milk was taken by the kid and the milk died. Then later on they came to know it was in the palak. So the good ladies, like they try to they see these धनिया को तोड़ के रखते हैं, धनिया सुखा के रखते हैं, रखते हैं, and even the vegetables, fruits, if you wash it properly and you keep it in the fridge, you can keep it for for 10 days, because जो सब्जी वाले हैं very well, they all put पता नहीं नाली का पानी डालते हैं, गंदा पानी कौन सा डालते हैं. So persons like you, I know that they wash the vegetables, clean it, dry it. Then I will give you another example. मिर्ची लेके आते हैं हम लोग. मिर्ची की जो डंडी होती है, आपको बता रहा हूं मैं कि मिर्ची की डंडी आप तोड़ दीजिए और मिर्ची को फिर आप डब्बे में रखिए, आपकी देखिए 15 दिन मिर्ची खराब नहीं होगी. पर जो मिर्ची की डंडी और मिर्ची का जो होता है उसमें जो गैप होता है वो ड्रॉप जो है ना मिर्ची को साथ देता है. So I will give you one example. If you keep a chili, break that, उसकी जो हैंड है वो जो है डंठल तोड़ दीजिए और तोड़ के आज आपको फ्रिज में देखिए और 10 दिन तक आपका खराब हो जाएगा. So then you tell me कि microbiology how it works. So it is very important that after good agriculture practices we have to harvest properly and store it properly. So nowadays people are the herb suppliers, they are maintaining the herbs in such a condition that they do not keep it in any bags. They properly keep it. They wash it. For example, Rauwolfia serpentina root. They first wash the root so that all the dust, because root is inside the soil, so they remove all the soil. They wash it properly, and then the root, if that root is dried root, is kept even for a year, nothing happens. And that is why they call it snake root. उसको कहते हैं जो अपना Rauwolfia serpentina है ना, सर्पगंधा, because the root is like सर्प. So if it is washed properly, then nothing happens.
Sir.
Thank you, sir. Explained wonderfully with a wonderful example.
Thank you.
Sir.
नमस्कार सर.
Sir.
नमस्कार.
Are you listening me?
सर मैं आपसे एक सवाल पूछना चाहता हूँ.
हाँ जी साहब पूछिए.
डॉक्टर संजीव फ्रॉम दिल्ली.
ओके यस.
सर जो आजकल नो सूट वगैरह के लिए रॉ मटेरियल प्रोक्योर किया जाता है, उसमें कैसे वेरीफाई करते हैं कि वही मटेरियल है जिसके लिए हम नो सूट बना रहे हैं? जैसे कोविड कोई बना रहा है तो उसमें जो कोविड के अलावा और बतेरा कुछ होगा जो कि वायरस बैक्टीरिया होंगे.
बिल्कुल है. इसके ऊपर देखिए क्या है कि अभी मेरी बात हुई थी डॉक्टर खुराना से ही बात हुई थी, और हमारे जो है आपने दिया HPI वॉल्यूम 4 देखा होगा, होम्योपैथी फार्मा ऑफ इंडिया वॉल्यूम 4, उसमें ना नो सोर्स का दे रखा एक चैप्टर है हाउ टू आइडेंटिफाई द बैक्टीरिया. तो यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई द बैक्टीरिया ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ बायोकेमिकल रिएक्शन. जैसे ई कोलाई है आपका ना, ई कोलाई में जो है वो गैस फॉर्मेशन होता है, स्टेफाइलोकोकस में कैटालिस एंजाइम होता है, तो वो ऑन द बेसिस ऑफ बायोकेमिकल रिएक्शन यू हैव टू आइडेंटिफाई. और उसमें जो आप कह रहे हो चीको ना कि वो इट इज वेरी इंपॉर्टेंट टू प्यूरिफाई द बैक्टीरिया, क्योंकि यदि आप किसी फर्स्ट सेल से लेते हो तो उसमें बैक्टीरिया के सिवाय फर्स्ट सेल से बाकी चीज आ जाएंगी. So it is very important first of all to identify the bacteria and purify the bacteria.
तो उसको हाउ टू कैसे आइसोलेट करते हैं सर?
हाँ, उसके बाद ना उसमें जो वॉल्यूम 4 में लिखा हुआ है 1 billion bacteria you have to take. So there is a procedure of counting the bacteria. That is through dilution. उसको क्या करते हैं हम लोग, कल्चर लिया हमने, उसको डाइल्यूट किया और डाइल्यूट सपोज हमने इसको 10,000 टाइम डाइल्यूट किया और 10,000 टाइम में 4 बैक्टीरिया आए प्लेट के अंदर. तो 10,000 into 4 is 40,000 बैक्टीरिया आर देयर.
ठीक है.
Please go through once HPI volume 4, and if you have any problem you can talk to me, you can mail me, or you can take my number with Dr. Kant. We'll discuss it. It is very good question. I'm happy to hear that you ask such question.
थैंक यू सर. कोविड के लिए जो रॉ मटेरियल लिया जाएगा, उसको कैसे वेरीफाई करेंगे कि जो हम ले रहे हैं उसमें बहुत सारे वायरसेस के जो अलग अलग स्ट्रेन्स हैं उनको मिक्स करके एक स्ट्रेन बनाएं और फिर उसको डाइल्यूट किया जाए?
हाँ, इसके लिए देखिए जी, इसमें दो तीन लोगों के प्रपोजल आए थे डॉक्टर खुराना के पास. क्योंकि देखिए आपका अपना जो होम्योपैथी में एक रूल 30AA है. रूल 2DD में तो होम्योपैथिक डेफिनेशन है होम्योपैथिक मेडिसिन की, और रूल 30A में न्यू होम्योपैथिक मेडिसिन है. तो जो कोविड का है वो न्यू होम्योपैथिक मेडिसिन में आएगा. उसके ऊपर रिसर्च चल रही है। डॉक्टर राजेश शाह जो है मुंबई के, उन्होंने भी कोविड कि हाउ टू आइडेंटिफाई द कोविड वायरस, और कौन सा कोविड वायरस है, कौन सा क्या है, उसके बारे में अभी तक कोई ऐसा कमेटी जो है CCRH कमेटी ने अभी तक अप्रूवल दिया नहीं है।
ऑथेंटिकेट कैसे करें कि हम कोविड को ही बना रहे हैं?
वही चक्कर है ना, दैट इज जो आपने क्वेश्चन पूछा है, वही क्वेश्चन ड्रग कंट्रोलर DCGI ने पूछा था उनसे कि भाई आप कैसे कह रहे हो कि आपका कोविड का वायरस है चीज को, उसमें मिक्सचर भी हो सकता है।
तो सर अगर वैक्सीन से ही आप नोसोड बनाए जो ऑलरेडी वैक्सीन डीएक्टिवेटेड है।
हाँ बिल्कुल, देखिए वैक्सीन और नोसोड में दो चीज फर्क है। वैक्सीन जो है ना, वायरस में दो प्रॉपर्टी होती है, एक होती है डिजीज कॉजिंग प्रॉपर्टी, दूसरी होती है एंटीबॉडी प्रोड्यूसिंग प्रॉपर्टी।
हाँ जी।
फर्स्ट इज डिजीज कॉजिंग, सेकंड इज एंटीबॉडी प्रोड्यूसिंग। So if you kill the disease causing property, that is called attenuation, then what is left is antibody producing property. तो एंटीबॉडी प्रोड्यूसिंग प्रॉपर्टी से क्या होता है, वो एंटीबॉडीज बनती है हमारे यहाँ, डिजीज नहीं आती। तो जो आपका वैक्सीन है ना, वैक्सीन में लाइव बैक्टीरिया नहीं है, लाइव वायरस नहीं है,
वो तो डीएक्टिवेटेड है और उसको भी फिल्टर किया हुआ है, उसको भी उन्होंने।
हाँ तो वो तो डीएक्टिवेटेड हो गया ना, तो वो डीएक्टिवेटेड है ना, इट इज डीएक्टिवेटेड।
हाँ जी, तो वो भी कैपेबल है?
नहीं
एंटीबॉडी
नहीं एंटीबॉडी जब तक आपका डिजीज कॉजिंग प्रॉपर्टी नहीं होगी तब तक उसका नोसोड नहीं बन सकता। नोसोड कहता है कि यू हैव टू प्रिपेयर फ्रॉम द डिजीज कॉजिंग मटेरियल, नॉट फ्रॉम द एंटीबॉडी प्रोड्यूसिंग। मैंने बताया ना आपको कि वायरस में दो चीज प्रॉपर्टी है, एक एंटीबॉडी और दूसरा डिजीज कॉजिंग। तो उसमें जो एटेन्यूएशन करते हैं, उसमें जो किल करते हैं, वो जो डिजीज कॉजिंग प्रॉपर्टी है उसको किल कर दिया उन्होंने। अब सिर्फ उसमें एंटीबॉडी प्रोड्यूसिंग प्रॉपर्टी है।
पोस्ट कोविड भी आ रहे हैं और पोस्ट वैक्सीनेटेड भी आ रहे हैं, तो पोस्ट वैक्सीनेटेड में भी डिजीजेस आ रही हैं जो कि सिमिलर सिम्टम्स हैं कोविड के जैसे।
हाँ
क्या छोटा बालू है? वो छोटा बालू है।
सही कह रहे हैं। पर तो वही है ना कि क्वेश्चन ये है कि हमारे नोसोड की जो क्लासिफिकेशन दे रखी है उसमें वो कहता है कि आप वैक्सीन से नहीं बना सकते। यदि वैक्सीन से बना लेते हम लोग तो जो ट्यूबरकुलिनम क्यों बना के जरूरत पड़ती, हम सीधे उसका जो BCG का टैक्स जो था उसी से बना लेते हम लोग। तो इसलिए BCG का जो है इस्तेमाल नहीं हो पाया था हम लोग को।
दोनों में मेन फर्क यह है कि हम लाइव वाला लेते हैं जो कि डिजीज प्रोड्यूसिंग होता है।
हाँ बिल्कुल, अब आप सही कह रहे हैं, लाइव वाला लेते हैं। और लाइव वाले को प्यूरिफाई करना पड़ेगा आपको।
हाँ तो आइसोलेट कैसे करें सर? कल्चर करेंगे तो बहुत सारा और भी कल्चर होगा।
हम वो तो है ही। अब वायरस का जो मल्टीप्लिकेशन है ना, इट इज जो अंडे होते हैं ना, अंडे के अंदर उसको करते हैं। वायरस कैन नॉट मल्टीप्लाई इन ओपन एनवायरनमेंट।
इन विट्रो नहीं होता, इन विवो होता है।
हाँ, तो इट नीड्स ए होस्ट। आपको याद होगा प्रोफेसर स्टेनले ने 1920 में वायरस को क्रिस्टलाइज कर दिया था, क्रिस्टलाइज करके बॉटल में रख दिया था उसको। उनको आप देखना, प्रोफेसर स्टेनले पढ़ना, उसको ना नोबेल प्राइज मिला था। और जैसे उस बैक्टीरिया को, वायरस को आप बॉडी के अंदर डालोगे, इट नीड्स ए होस्ट टू मल्टीप्लाई। एनी वायरस नीड्स ए होस्ट,
अदरवाइज इनर्ट है वो।
हाँ बस इट इज लाइक ए इनर्ट,
मल्टीप्लाई नहीं होता वो।
हाँ तो तभी वो कहते हैं ना कि आप यदि कम उसको चांसेस दोगे मल्टीप्लिकेशन के लिए, कम होस्ट मिलेंगे तो उसके चांसेस कम है आपका वो होने के लिए, मल्टीप्लाई होने के। तो इसलिए कहते हैं वो म्यूटेशन कम होगा। वो क्यों बार बार कहते हैं कि भाई आप लोग संभाल के रखो, मत निकलो। वो चाह रहे हैं कि ये, क्योंकि क्या होता है कि हर 10 मिलियन में एक बार वायरस म्यूटेट करता है, और वो म्यूटेशन खराब भी हो सकता है, अच्छा भी हो सकता है। जो आपका गामा बीटा जो आ रहे हैं, अलग अलग जो म्यूटेंट्स आ रहे हैं, वो सब कुछ
डेल्टा स्ट्रेन आ रहे हैं जिसके अंदर हाईली इन्फेक्शियस है वो।
हाँ, तो वो इसीलिए भगवान सबसे यही कहा जाता है कि भैया कि उसको मल्टीप्लाई मत होने दो, बस। तो ये चक्कर है और कुछ नहीं।
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Okay, God bless you. God bless. Very good. I am happy.
Dr. Sanjeev Agarwal from Delhi. Thank you, sir.
Sir, there is one query. What is the validity of mother tincture opened once but well closed? For how long is valid to use? Please comment and in journal.
5 years.
Okay.
It is 5 years after your child lemon.
Okay,
for
sir.
dilution, there is no expiry, but for mother tincture, they have kept 5 years.
And other eye drops?
Eye drops, it is 2 years.
after the open?
After 1 month. 1 month.
1 month.
If you open it, you put a drop, same amount of air goes in. So that air will contaminate this thing. And it has a preservative. That preservative can work up to 1 month only.
Thank you.
The preservative has power to kill the bacteria, but it can kill up to a certain time, not the whole this thing. For example,
what is the
should I continue?
Yeah.
yeah yes sir.
देखिए प्रिजर्वेटिव का मतलब ये होता है कि उसके अंदर कोई ऐसी पावर है जो बैक्टीरिया को करती है. फॉर एग्जांपल जैसे मेरे कमरे में अभी 3 लोग बैठे हैं, कोई 2 जन आ जाएंगे तो हमारे ऊपर हमला नहीं कर सकते. 5 लोग आ गए, 10 लोग आ गए तो हमारे ऊपर सब हमला कर देंगे. तो हमारी जो किलिंग पावर है, हमारी जो उनको जो हाईजैक करने की पावर खत्म हो जाएगी. तो वैसे ही जो वायल में जो फिल्म प्रिपरेशन में जो प्रिजर्वेटिव होता है ज्यादा हो जाएगी, क्योंकि एवरी टाइम व्हेन यू पुट आई ड्रॉप इन योर आई, सेम अमाउंट ऑफ एयर गोज इन. तो वो क्या होता है 10 बार आप डालोगे तो 10 बार एयर आ जा रही है, तो वो हर बार जो है वो बैक्टीरिया को किल करता रहेगा. तो आफ्टर 1 मंथ क्या हो जाएगा, उसकी जो क्षमता है किल करने की वो खत्म हो जाएगी. इसलिए उसमें लिखा रहता है यूज विद इन 1 मंथ आफ्टर ओपनिंग ऑफ द कंटेनर. पर्पस इज दिस ओनली. उसकी जो पावर है, उसके जो प्रिजर्वेटिव है वो खत्म कर जाता है.
So one question, what is the validity of dilutions?
No. Dilutions, they have not kept anything.
Okay.
For dilutions, there is no study.
Okay, sir. Any other query? Kindly post if you want to ask, or we are concluding the session.
Just little question I can ask verbally.
Yeah,
Hello?
sure. Yes, you are audible.
Doctor, it happened only in the bottle of calendula, one of the good company prepared. As you told, it is for 5 years. Inside it became like a gel. It's a little gel. I tried to filter to use for locally, but still it was very complex for me to see a well prepared from a a good company, that inside this gel was residue down. When you use it, sometimes it happens. So I tried to filter. Would you tell me if it is spoiled or can be used as it is?
Very good. Very good. You see, the biggest problem content is very less in that. And what happens that it has a lot of tannins. And the tannins in the presence of sunlight that get precipitated. But if you filter it, it is fine.
Okay.
But again, if there is too much, the precipitation, it is not, the growth which you are seeing, it is the precipitation of the tannin, which is present in the calendula.
Okay.
So the tannin has to be removed, and the only process, is that it should be kept free from the sunlight, direct sun. I mean, the bottle should not, have should keep in such a way that direct sunlight should not come on that, basically.
Of course.
And the biggest thing is tannin precipitation is there. But that danger is not bad, actually, until unless there is a fungal contamination.
No danger at all, isn't it?
Pardon?
No danger.
No danger.
Okay.
If it is a fungal contamination, then it is danger.
Yeah, of course, but very carefully, very carefully.
Yeah, but have to be very careful. Because calendula, it comes, you buy of any company. After some time, it gets precipitated. That is the biggest problem, calendula.
It happened with only calendula, otherwise.
Yes, calendula. Because, if you see the hydrostasis, if you see the berberis, it is very shining mother tincture.
Yes.
Yellow shining, you call it sparkling. The word is sparkling. But this calendula, you always find, some hazy, something, precipitation takes place.
Fantastic. Thank you very much, Doctor.
Very good. God bless.
Dr. Joshi, one question I would like to ask.
So,
अरे सर नमस्कार.
एक minute. When there was a discussion on the that now there is no expiry on the resolutions. Mother teachers it continues, which is 5 years.
Yeah.
It is something, at least to me, it has been always a matter of confusion. There are mother tinctures, which are aqua-based. Acids, for example, acid falls or acid acidic. I mean, these are the tinctures which are purely aqua-based. And in contrast with, there are many mother tinctures here where even the alcohol percentage would be, in the finished product, it would be around 81%.
90 plus minus 2.
Even 90%, yes.
Plus minus 2.
To what extent should there be a uniformity in the expiry date? Because I found a lot of contamination in case of aqua-based tinctures.
So, डॉक्टर भाई पहले तो नमस्कार आपको. आप आए, मुझे देखिए जो आप एसिड फॉस कह रहे हैं, that is called mother solutions. They are mother solutions. And mother solutions की जो है expiry usually जो है that should not be much. If you ask me from microbiological point of view, it should not be more than a month basically. Mother solutions.
Okay.
And secondly, very good question you have asked. Same question Dr. Agustin asked me long back. In CGHS dispensaries, what they used to do, they used to dispense Euphrasia, mother tincture, in the distilled water, and they found some problem with the eye drop. So then I suggested you cannot dispense Euphrasia in distilled water. So then they stopped. Otherwise, there was a practice that whenever people used to have eye problem or the conjunctivitis, they used to dispense in distilled water the Euphrasia. So the sterile water can be sterile till it is closed. The moment you open, as I told you the example of the distillery, the once you open it and you keep it in your mouth, the same amount of air some goes inside, and that distillery water gets contaminated. And instead of the mother solutions, the distilled water and others, they are the biggest source of contamination. So acid fast and our mother solutions should not have expiry more than a month.
Another confusion comes, regarding, for example, cineraria.
Yeah.
Cinerarias, preparations being made. Some are containing 9 or 10% of alcohol, others non-alcoholic.
Yeah.
So, in your view, which is better and why?
Yes. Again, very, very multi-million-dollar question. If you ask me,
Yeah.
When I was in HPL, Homeopathy Pharmacopoeia Laboratory, I wrote to one ophthalmologist. I'm just forgetting the name. He was surprised that the eye drop is having alcohol. They said the alcohol should not be, there in the eye drop. But again, the Cineraria maritima succus is a juice. Now, juice is soluble in water also. There is no need of alcohol. And if you see the Schedule FF of the Drugs and Cosmetics Act, in that it is clearly written the preservatives are phenyl mercuric nitrate, 0.001%, chlorobutanol, phenyl ethyl alcohol. So these preservatives can be used. There is no need of alcohol. Alcohol is not a preservative because 9% alcohol is not a preservative. 18% plus is a preservative. That is why even the beer, that's a beer लेते होंगे, तो वो भी जो है ना,
आपके साथ लेंगे.
तो वो भी जो है वो एक बार खोलने के बाद उसको खत्म करनी है. It is not like a whiskey कि आपने उसको खोलने के बाद उसको कंज्यूम करना ही पड़ेगा आपको चीज को. तो इसीलिए जो है alcohol is not a preservative, but alcohol damages the retina. So it is better that the eye drop should not have the alcohol in that. If you ask me personally. Yeah.
And one final question regarding microbial contamination, as you have been discussing. What about and how do you prepare medicines from the fungi?
Yeah. फंगस का तो हमारे पास क्लेविसस पुरपुरिया है ना, क्लेविसस का, तो वो एर्गॉट से ही वो बनाते हैं इसमें फंगस का।
ओके।
और एस्परजिलस जो है, एस्परजिलस भी है, तो एस्परजिलस जो है इसकी स्पीशीज ग्रो करते हैं, दैट भी आइडेंटिफाई है। और उसको भी जो है बस वही है कि उसको जो नोसोर्स में जैसे 1 बिलियन काउंट दे रखा है, इसका काउंट हमको देखना पड़ेगा कि कितना काउंट इसमें मेंशन्ड है पर्टिकुलर मोनोग्राफ में। अदरवाइज वी हैव टू टेक द होल बैक्टीरिया एज सच, होल फंगस एज सच। Yeah.
So nice of you.
My pleasure, sir. Nice to see you. Hope to see you on 25th now.
Oh yes, that of course is there. But I
Yeah.
think prior to that, next Friday, I think I would be here on this platform.
अच्छा, very good, very good. 25th को मिलेंगे फिर डॉक्टर साहब।
25th को तो होंगे ही होगा।
जी। Long life, wish you long life, healthy life.
Thank you. Thanks a
We
lot.
always seek your blessings.
So nice of you.
Doctor, I have another 2 small questions, please.
Yeah.
Hello?
Yeah, you are
Yes,
audible.
yes, Dr. Madan.
Thank you.
Please.
Thank you very much. You see, first
Yes,
first
sir.
question is that when we prepare ourselves 110 ml of water plus 2 globules of our medicine or whatever the remedy is there, we should use distilled water, or we can use a normal good quality of mineral water, then prepare. And part B of this question, that how many days it could be valid, this solution, which may be for
Stable.
1 week. Moment.
Stable, na? Stability.
Moment. Yeah, the remedy prepared by me, you
Yeah.
can say. But still, what I use personally, that I will add 2 drops of alcohol, only 2 drops, to
Yeah.
make sure in case this will be valid for 30 days, it won't be spoiled. But what is your point of view that how we can prepare that solution which we need it, water solution remedy that must be for 1 week or for 2 weeks? Please, this one.
Yeah.
Should
You
I?
see,
Okay. Then I will make second question. Thank you. Please.
alcohol is a preservative, but it works when it is more than 18% alcohol. 1 drop or 2 drop is not going to, affect anything. If 18% alcohol is there and the medium is acidic, then the bacteria will not multiply. And if the medium is alkaline, then you need to have more than 20% alcohol. And the quality of water, as you said, it is better to use a purified water. You need to use purified water.
Purified water, sorry to ask again, to make sure. Purified water means this mineral water being sold, or it should be distilled water, what we are using for particular thing?
Yeah. Mineral water is not a you can use the distilled water or sterilized water.
Okay.
Because the DM water is prepared through reverse osmosis, RO, and through ion exchange, that is called demineralized water. We have a ion exchange, cation exchange, anion exchange, from where all the minerals are removed, basically. And as you told that you are putting some 2 drops of alcohol, that is not going to serve the purpose, because that the acid phos or any mineral will start multiplying very fast there. So it should be used in a day or 2 days, 3 days. That's all.
Okay. If it is for maximum 5 days, we don't need to put any use.
But it is better. I will suggest to keep it in the refrigerator, not in the open this thing.
That's fine. Thank you. So can I go for the second question?
My pleasure, sir. My pleasure.
See, many mushrooms
Yeah.
of good quality or different species are very good for health to be taken as grinded powder. In England, the people are selling very special from Dr. Robin, this and that. But in case we found this in a good quality of these mushrooms and we make ourselves under alcohol, put it for 30 days or more even as we are preparing mother tinctures, and to be used personally for I want to use myself to have a nutrient. So that can be in, or better to use the powder of these mushrooms. Thank you.
Yeah, it is not going to affect. It is not going to affect the quality. The quality will not affect. Rather, it will be safe from the point of view of the contamination. I will say,
Oh, yes.
because mushrooms, mushrooms they attract a lot of fungus.
Yes, yeah.
Even the dried mushroom, it causes, it attracts a lot of fungus from the environment. So as you said, if you put it in alcohol, so the alcohol extract, it is rather you can say it. देखिए आपको मार्केट में पुदीन हरा मिलता है ना, पुदीन हरा, पुदीन हरा क्या है? इट इज अल्कोहलिक एक्सट्रैक्ट है और क्या है? पुदीना जो है मार्केट में आप लेके आओ 4 दिन में सड़ जाता है पुदीना।
Yes.
और पुदीन हरा की आप बॉटल रखे रहिए 1 महीने भर तक, 6 महीने कुछ नहीं होता चीज को। डॉक्टर साहब आप आराम से इसको लीजिए और यंग बने रहिए, एनर्जेटिक बने रहिए।
Thank you very much. Thank you. Same. It's a good wishes to you for your great work doing. Thank you very much.
I need your blessing. Thank you very much.
Namaskar.
Okay. So, only one question. How we contamination of nodes and saccades?
Pardon?
How we trace the contamination of nosodes and sarcodes?
See, this is again, there are different, microbiological testing of bacteria. There is a book, Collins Microbiology. Their identification of bacteria, as we have identification of plant, so same way we can identify the plant material. There is a gas formation. Staphylococcus, there is a catalase enzyme. Pseudomonas aeruginosa, there is an oxidase enzyme. So in Pseudomonas aeruginosa, what do? When the colonies are parent green color colony, and when you take out that colony and put it into a tetramethylene p-phenylenediamine dihydrochloride reagent, it turns into violet. So these are the biochemical reactions. On the basis of biochemical reaction, you identify the bacteria. As you must have seen the pathology lab, how they identify whether the UTI is because of particular bacteria or this thing. So the same way, there are different tests, and then they do the sensitivity with the antibiotic. Which antibiotic will be more suitable for you. So there are certain tests which they identify, and they are known as biochemical tests for identification of bacteria.
Okay, thank you, sir. Thank you so much for a wonderful webinar today. Thank you everyone for joining us. Now to the session.
Thank you, Dr. Himani. Thank you, Dr. Prakash Joshi, and
my pleasure, Dr. Sahab.
बहुत अच्छा लगा, एक फार्मेसी पे फ्रूटफुल डिस्कशन हुआ, और दिल्ली होम्योपैथिक मेडिकल एसोसिएशन आपका बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करता है कि आप हमारे साथ हैं,
हमारा सौभाग्य है,
इतने अपने एक रिसर्च कर रहे हैं। जहाँ तक मैं इस वेबिनार की बात करूँ तो हम लोग इस सोशल मीडिया के प्लेटफॉर्म पर हैं, तो सभी लोगों को बताना चाहता हूँ कि ये सिर्फ एक एजुकेशनल प्रोग्राम है, और यहाँ जो डिस्कशन हो रहा है सिर्फ डॉक्टर्स के बीच, और ये सिर्फ एक फ्रूटफुल डिस्कशन है। हम किसी भी संस्था को या किसी भी कार्य को हम इसमें बाधित नहीं कर रहे हैं, ये एक सिर्फ डिस्कशन है। जहाँ तक कोविड को लेकर के सवाल है, तो कोविड की वैक्सीनेशन और कोविड का जो नोसोड है, दोनों अलग अलग प्रक्रियाएं हैं। हालांकि एक तरह से देखा जाए तो डॉक्टर हैनीमैन के सर के टाइम पे ही वैक्सीनेशन का इजाद हुआ था, और दोनों लगभग सिमिलर चीज़ें हैं। लेकिन डॉक्टर हैनीमैन सर के टाइम पर नहीं थी कि हम लोग सब कुछ सेपरेट कर पाएँ, लेकिन आज की डेट में अगर हम ये सोचें कि हम सिर्फ कोरोना के एक वायरस को सेपरेट करें, उसके अलग अलग स्ट्रेन को सेपरेट करें, तो ये वायरोलॉजी का एक बहुत बड़ा टॉपिक है। तो हम सिर्फ ये कहें कि आप एक वायरस के डेल्टा वर्जन को लेकर के नोसोड बना दें, तो इट इज़ क्वाइट डिफिकल्ट, क्योंकि जब तक वायरोलॉजी का एक सेक्शन होम्योपैथी में या आयुष डिपार्टमेंट में नहीं होगा, तब तक ये कर पाना शायद मुश्किल है, जैसा मैं समझता हूँ। डॉक्टर प्रकाश जोशी, आप भी जानते होंगे। और अगर हम वायरस को सिर्फ वायरस को आइसोलेट करते हैं, तो हम एक इनएक्टिव ऑर्गेनिज्म को लेते हैं, क्योंकि प्लेन वायरस आपके किसी काम का नहीं है जब तक वो किसी होस्ट में ना हो, जैसे डॉक्टर प्रकाश जोशी ने बताया। तो ऐसे समय पे जब पहले भी वायरसेस बनते आए के नोसोड बनते आए थे, तब भी बहुत सारी मिक्स्ड कंटामिनेशंस हो सकती थी, लेकिन क्योंकि आज साइंस बहुत आगे पहुंच गई है तो हमें वो सेपरेशन बहुत जरूरी है। तो ये जो नियम है ये टाइम टू टाइम चेंज होते रहते हैं और सब कुछ अपग्रेडेशंस होते हैं और ये हमेशा हमारी अच्छाई के लिए होते हैं। तो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद डॉक्टर प्रकाश जोशी, आपने सभी क्वेश्चंस का बहुत अच्छे से एक्सप्लेनेशन दिया। मैं धन्यवाद करूंगा हमारे पैटर्न सर डॉक्टर वीपी सिंह सर, और चाहूंगा कि सर 2 शब्द वो जरूर बोलें क्योंकि पैटर्न सर हैं DHMA के, अगर ये हैं तो आज हम बहुत इन्हीं के पीछे हैं, सब लोग मेन इंजन हमारे यही हैं। डॉक्टर वीपी सिंह सर।
सर
नमस्कार
डॉक्टर वाही, आपको बहुत बहुत नमस्कार मेरा, और डॉक्टर आर खान। सबसे पहले तो मैं सिंपैथी इंस्टीट्यूट ऑफ होम्योपैथिक फार्मेसी को धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा कि इस वेबिनार सीरीज को लगातार चलाने के लिए DHMA के साथ जो आपने जॉइंट वेंचर शुरू किया है उसके लिए बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और आज के स्पीकर हमारे डॉक्टर प्रकाश जोशी जी, डॉक्टर वाई की उपस्थिति में जो हम आज सुनने को मिल रहा है, इसके लिए हम बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद करते हैं डॉक्टर प्रकाश जोशी का। और बहुत हमें माइन्यूट चीज़ें होम्योपैथिक फार्मेसी के बारे में मालूम हुई जिनसे हम बहुत वंचित रहते थे, और प्रैक्टिस में आकर के हम उन चीज़ों को बहुत नेग्लेक्ट या इग्नोर करते चले जा रहे थे। तो इन चीज़ों का विशेष तौर से हाइजीनिक हमको बहुत ध्यान रखने की ज़रूरत है, स्पेशली प्रैक्टिस में, क्योंकि सारी चीज़ें तो हमको बनी बनाई मिलती हैं, लेकिन हमको उसको पेशेंट को देने के लिए भी बहुत ज़रूरी है कि हम उसको बहुत ध्यान रखें। बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद डॉक्टर प्रकाश जोशी जी, आपका धन्यवाद सर।
नमस्कार, माय प्लेजर सर।
थैंक यू। और अब मैं चाहूँगा कि दिल्ली होम्योपैथिक मेडिकल एसोसिएशन और सिंपैथी की तरफ से जो हमारे स्पीकर्स रहे हैं, डॉक्टर विनीत द्विवेदी जो लास्ट सेशन थोड़ा मिस कर गए थे क्योंकि उस समय तक अवेलेबल नहीं था, तो डॉक्टर विनीत द्विवेदी के लिए सर्टिफिकेट है सिंपैथी और दिल्ली होम्योपैथिक मेडिकल एसोसिएशन की तरफ से। सेम इसी कैटेगरी में आज डॉक्टर प्रकाश जोशी सर, आपके लिए भी एक सर्टिफिकेट है, ये हम आपको व्हाट्सअप कर देंगे, सिंपैथी की तरफ से आपको आ जाएगा। और ये होम्योपैथिक मेडिकल एसोसिएशन और सिंपैथी दोनों की तरफ से है। तो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सब लोगों का। अब मैं चाहता हूँ कि जो सिंपैथी के डायरेक्टर हैं डॉक्टर कान सर वोट ऑफ थैंक्स कहें। डॉक्टर कान।
धन्यवाद डॉक्टर दीपक। आप सभी लोगों ने बहुत कीनली ऑब्जर्व किया डॉक्टर प्रकाश जोशी सर का लेक्चर, और सबसे पहले मैं डॉक्टर प्रकाश जोशी सर को मैं धन्यवाद देना चाहूँगा। डॉक्टर प्रकाश जोशी सर मेरे एक सिंगल व्हाट्सएप मैसेज पर उन्होंने अपने इम्पोर्टेंट टाइम में से एक हम लोगों के लिए समय निकाला और इम्पोर्टेंट टॉपिक के लिए उन्होंने समय दिया।
You are a wonderful person, sir.
थैंक यू सर। मैं उम्मीद करता हूं कि सभी पार्टिसिपेंट्स इनके लेक्चर से आप सभी लोग लाभान्वित हुए होंगे, बेनिफिशियल हुए होंगे। और मैं इसी आज के वेबिनार में हमारे बीच डॉक्टर के सेठी मैम हैं, जो कि आप लोग जानते हैं फॉर्मर एडवाइजर हैं मिनिस्ट्री ऑफ आयुष में गवर्नमेंट ऑफ इंडिया की। मैं उनको भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद देता हूं कि आप हम लोगों के बीच आई और इतना आपने समय निकाला अपनी इम्पोर्टेंट समय से। और डॉक्टर विनोद सांगवान साहब हमारे बीच में हैं हमारे वेबिनार में, आपने भी शिरकत की, आपको भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। डॉक्टर वी तिवारी हैं पटना से। डॉक्टर RN वाही सर, आपने इतना अपना इम्पोर्टेंट टाइम दिया ऐसे टॉपिक के लिए जो कि हमेशा से होम्योपैथी फील्ड के लिए इग्नोरेंट रहा है। तो हम लोगों की एक कोशिश है DHMA की और सिंपैथी इंस्टीट्यूट की कि हम लोग इस इग्नोर टॉपिक को उठा करके और कम से कम प्रैक्टिकल क्लिनिकल प्रैक्टिस में इसकी यूसेस को हम लोग थोड़ा सा हाईलाइट करें और इसकी इंपॉर्टेंस को सारे डॉक्टर समझें कि होम्योपैथिक फार्मेसी कैसी इंपॉर्टेंट चीज़ है अपनी क्लिनिकल प्रैक्टिस के लिए और क्वालिटी मैनर में। डॉक्टर युधिष्ठिर सिंह सर अपने DHMA के प्रेसिडेंट हैं, आपने भी अपना समय दिया सर। और डॉक्टर VP सिंह सर, आपका भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। और डॉक्टर पुष्पम किरण जो सिंपैथी इंस्टीट्यूट की प्रिंसिपल हैं, आज वो भी हमारे बीच शिरकत कर रही हैं और इस वेबिनार को अपना पूरा टाइम दिया इन्होंने। आप सभी लोगों का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत आभार, दिल के गहराइयों से आभार कि आप लोग अपना बहुमूल्य समय में से कम से कम होम्योपैथिक फार्मेसी के लिए आप लोगों ने अपना समय निकाला। डॉक्टर वी तिवारी का विशेष आभार, जो कि पटना से ये ज्वाइन कर रहे हैं हम लोगों को, और अपना इम्पोर्टेंट क्वेश्चन भी उन्होंने बहुत क्वेरिसिटी के साथ में क्वेश्चन किया। आप सभी लोगों का बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद, बहुत बहुत आभार।
थैंक यू वेरी मच। डॉक्टर सेठी को मेरा नमस्कार
सर।
थैंक यू डॉक्टर खान। और साथ में समाप्ति की ओर बढ़ता हूँ, और किसी को अगर कोई भी क्वेरी हो या इसकी रिकॉर्डिंग के लिए आप लिंक चाहते हैं तो मुझे 9711153617 पर व्हाट्सएप करें, या dhmadelhi@gmail.com पर dhmadelhi@gmail.com पर हमें ईमेल करें। हम आपको इसकी पूरी रिकॉर्डिंग फेसबुक पे भी रहती और दिल्ली होम्योपैथी मेडिकल, और वहाँ से भी इसको दोबारा देख सकते हैं जो लोग मिस कर गए हैं। तो बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद आप सब लोगों का अपना टाइम देने का। स्पेशल थैंक्स टू डॉक्टर कांत, डॉक्टर प्रकाश जोशी, डॉक्टर वाही सर और एवरीवन, डॉक्टर विनोद सांगवान सर, आपका भी बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद। थैंक यू सर। थैंक यू डॉक्टर सिंह सर।